And welcome back to Who Would Win, the week of Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Red Elastic 88? 98. Well, that's the question. Who won a fight? Haku. Technically Haku is from a clan called, I believe, the Yuki clan. So Haku Yuki versus Mizuru. Not Mizuru, but Mizore? Sorry, it's Mizore. Mizore Shirayuki. I believe it's, Mizore, not Misery, but Mizore Shirayuki from Rosario and Vampire. I actually read Rosario and Vampire, and I liked it fine. That's actually I actually own one of the mangas, actually. Like, I think Volume 1 I actually own. And obviously, I'm a huge Naruto fan. But I understand exactly why these two would be put against each other. Both ice maidens. Technically, not even technically, Haku's a guy, but very feminine in nature. And they manipulate ice. Haku obviously is a ninja trained under Zabuza Momochi, so was trained as a false hunter, and is highly skilled, very fast, capable of moving faster than the eye can see speeds, masterful with Sembo, and so it can hit pressure points, hit lethal areas as well, or put you in temporary coma. You need to be deadly accurate with it, but Haku was capable of manipulating wind, water, and ice, because in the Naruto world, ice release is a combination of wind and water. We only ever really see one water technique, and never a wind technique from him, which was the water needle technique, but we can assume he probably had other techniques under his belt. And then obviously the ice release. Now the only ice technique, again, we ever actually see Haku use is the crystal ice mirrors. But still, most likely Haku has other ice techniques under his belt. For instance, the ice needles probably is more akin to the liquid ice needles. You could have a frozen ice needles. If he knows water techniques, then he most likely know, like the water needle. He probably also knows, like, Raging Torrent, for example, the basic, water attack, which is the equivalent of, like, the Fireball Jutsu, the base water jutsu. And he can probably do ice equivalents of that. The crystal ice mirrors allow him to basically hide somehow in the mirrors and then move at well beyond measured speeds. Like, so fast you can't even, like, comprehend it. Unless you are able to perceive it with, like, a Sharingan, or just better trained, or better reflexes, faster, all that stuff. Haku was insanely, and capable of hand-to-hand combat as well. Haku was insanely skilled, but ultimately let his end at the hands of Team 7, particularly technically at Kakashi, although Haku was willing to have Naruto kill him. Mizore Shirayuki is a Yuki Onna, or, an ice maiden. Or an ice spirit. She is a monster. Because the world of Rosario and Vampires, monsters and humans exist. They do coincide with each other, but there's a school specifically for the monsters to keep them safe from humanity. She is a Yukina Onna, which is, again, basically an ice maiden. There's the legends of, like, the Yukina dragging men into the snow to kill them with their, like, evil ice spirits. In actuality, they're not evil. They just have very short windows of reproductive lifespans, and so they're very eager to find, partners to, have children with to keep the lineage going. And Mizore felt this way about, was it Sunusuke? I cannot. Hold on. One of the romantic romires. Sukun, because it's T-U-S, and I know the T is silent with that. So Sunkun Ano? Okay, anyway. Yeah. As an ice maiden, she's got basically complete control over ice. She is immune to, she's basically easily withstand the cold, and immune to, and, basically is more or less immune to it. She has cryokinesis, has almost complete control over ice at will. It means she can freeze and then control any form of water, and attacks of all water and ice base, or all water and ice base. That means water attacks are completely useless against her, and after training, she can now freeze any body of water around her and control it. Meaning, this isn't just you can freeze something and just create ice. She can manipulate ice that is around her. She's an expert in hand-to-hand combat. This makes her actually pretty. She's got ice daggers to take the form of usually like kunai knife, ice claws for slashing, ice punch that can freeze an opponent with hitting, and ice clones. And also dragon hail bullets. Jumps in the air before there's a massive barrage of icicles from her ice claws. So she is actually. This poses a big problem. Now, if you're going by the plus sides, Haku's clearly got better training. 100% Haku is more effectively trained. Probably is faster, too. But most of Haku's shit isn't going to work against her. I keep saying I want to call her Yukina, but it's not. That's Yu Hakusho. Mizore. Most of Haku's stuff isn't going to work against Mizore. I mean, she would throw ice at him. He would throw ice back. She'd manipulate the ice throwing at him. Haku's very intelligent, though. Would most likely see that the ice isn't working out. So it goes to phase 2. Just throws water. She immediately freezes it. He's able, though, to just using probably most likely can do an ice clone as well. But there's no proof on that, so I can't necessarily use that. I'm not using in-game stuff either. So all Haku really has is some techniques to technically stall her out temporarily. And then go aim for her pressure points with Senbons. That's Haku's best strategy. Because they never demonstrated him knowing wind techniques, although we can assume he probably knew at least one or two, at least base ones. Maybe Gale Palm or something like that. But yeah, if Haku were to win this, Haku needs to rely on his physicality, strategy, and his Senbons. Now, luckily, Haku is, I think, very much the faster of the two. And as I said, Haku's more effectively trained. Haku's trained as a killer, as a ninja. Mizore is not. And I think that is a big distinction between the two of them. While she's got complete terrain control, Haku is no slouch. Haku's clearly got a resistance to the cold given his Kekkei, and using chakra can just walk on the ice and avoid the ice if need be. And I'll add on to that, he can slowly start to just hit areas of importance, value, I guess, on the body. Hit key points, joints, pressure points, the whole shebang on Mizore. And eventually her arm might go limp at one point, and she's now struggling. The problem here is that Haku can keep his head leveled, I think, a lot more effectively than Mizore can. But or Mizore, I think it's Mizore, not Mizore, not like Missouri, but yeah. I haven't heard her name pronounced in a while, so I think it would be extremely tough. The catch here also is, just as she can manipulate any of the techniques he throws at her, if she throws techniques at him, there's nothing to say he can't deconstruct that and use it for, his own purpose. They both have finite reserves of energy, because demon energy, spirit of demon, like, it's not Ryatsu or Ryoku, I can't remember what it's called, but, like, the energy she uses for these attacks, she's got a limited amount too, just as Haku has a limited amount of chakra. If it were just coming down to straight on damage that they could do to each other, it would probably go to Mizore. But I will lean tentatively towards Haku, because Haku's not dumb. And the minute Haku realizes his shit's not going to work, well, now I got to change up my strategy. And luckily, he does still have other options. Whereas if Mizore's ice doesn't work, except for hand-to-hand combat, which I think Haku would still end up beating her in, even though she has been trained. I think Haku would frankly win in that fight. Because he knows he is trained as a ninja. He's trained as a ninja, as a person who's trained to kill, to fight, to sneak. I keep saying Yukina. Mizore is just a student. And, I mean, as powerful as she is, that power doesn't always cut it. So, it would be a tough fight for Haku. It'd be a very tough fight. And there's definitely scenarios where Mizore definitely wins. Oh, God. But I think the majority of them are going to go to Haku in this. This is just my opinion, however. Let me know in the comments below if you agree. And if you do, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool too. Let me know in the comments below why. But until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Put ideas for videos you want me to do in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you later.